Welcome, everybody. This is Coach Art with egelloC, and we have a special training. Forgive me, as you can hear, probably I'm losing my voice, but I did not want to miss out on this opportunity to interview one of my students because I think his journey has been an amazing journey as well. An incredible student, incredible person, and so, thank you, Omar, for being, with us. I greatly appreciate it. And so we're gonna go through and we, I guess some of the, I guess the cat was out of the bag that you made it to certain schools because it was advertised that way. But we'll talk about that at the end. But the one thing is that we want to have you share your journey with us. And I'll go ahead and ask a series of questions for you, and you can just go ahead and answer them. But first of all, why don't you give us just at a high level who you are, what you're doing, that kind of thing, just at a high level. So introduce yourself to the thousands of people that will be watching this video.
Okay, hi, my name is Omar Ablasud. I'm an Egyptian American. I was born here. I was grown up and raised in the IE of California. I've been, obviously going to school in elementary, middle school, and high school. COVID hit me around seventh grade, so I didn't get to experience seventh, eighth. So I basically made a jump from, sixth grade to high school, which was elementary
Wow.
school for me. What else? My mom's a doctor, so I've been on I've had a academic standard for a good amount of my life.
Mm.
So, I've just been I'm Muslim and it's Ramadan actually right now. I just wanted to add that. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I just been believing in God as I've been going and
Okay.
trusting in myself.
Great. Wonderful. So why don't we get started here, first of all, and talk about your academics? So, Um, in the schools that you made it to, they're quite rigorous and they require a lot of rigor courses. So, for the people that are listening, can you explain what academic classes that you took along the way? And let's talk about rigor as well. And if you want to share your grades, it's fine, and your test scores. But can you talk about the type of classes you took and why you took them?
Right. Do you mind if I go year by year? So
Sure, of
freshman year.
course, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, so freshman year, I remember I had AP or not AP bio, sorry, honors bio,
Okay,
art one, honors geometry three, because algebra one's usually for freshmen, but I was obviously ahead, so
right.
I did algebra one eighth grade. Anyways, I had what else did I have? I had Spanish one, athletic PE for basketball. Oh, and then English 4 or English 4, English 1, honors English 1. So every single class I've ever taken, or English, my maths, either AP or honors. There's no AP. Oh, there's only AP calculus, but that's not to my senior year. Anyways, I've thankfully never gotten a B. I've had all A's my entire my freshman, sophomore, junior, and then all my first semester, senior year grades. I had all A's, and then this semester I do as well, or currently. What else? My freshman year, the rigor, none of them were really. You can't take AP as a freshman at my school, or you could take one. I think it's AP Human Geo, but basically, I had a good counselor who helped me because, there's for California at least, the UCs, 3 years is recommended for Spanish, but 2 years are required, but 3 years are recommended. Math, 4 years are, I'm sorry, 4 years are recommended, 3 years are required. English is required for all 4 years. So stuff like that, where I would have to. So basically, the point of me saying that is every single class I've ever taken has been like there for a reason. Usually for the UCs, because that was, as a Californian, that's my main goal is get into a UC. I never really thought of college like that. Like I wasn't like going in as a freshman being like, oh, I need to take these classes to get into Harvard, stuff like that. I never really thought of it like that because again, it was a jump from elementary to high school. Damn, thinking back on it now, it's crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a while ago, a little while ago for me. But yeah, anyways, I never really thought of it like that. It wasn't until
Mhm.
because I've obviously heard about, how in your elementary you hear like, oh, middle school is gonna be hard. Oh, and middle school you hear high school is gonna
Sure.
be hard.
Yeah.
In my freshman year was honestly, to be honest, a breeze.
Okay.
But I feel like I feel like it's a good amount for a lot of people. It's like that. But I always heard that junior year was going to be really hard because it's like, oh,
Right.
it's really important for college,
Right.
this, that, and the other. And I never realized that, honestly, senior year is, oh, it depends your rigor. But anyways,
Mhm.
yeah. And then sophomore year, I took also honors English 2, honors algebra 2, AP world history,
Okay.
athletic PE again, Spanish 2, and then I think I might be forgetting one. I don't know, but it's
Mhm.
6 classes each year, obviously. And
Okay.
then junior year is when obviously the important stuff happened. So I had, oh,
Mhm.
I got a 3 on AP World, but I didn't. To be fair, I didn't really try on it that bad, so that's my excuse. But junior year is when I really like ramped it up. I took AP Chem. Honors chemistry. That's what I took. So that
Mm.
was the other one I forgot for sophomore year. I actually really liked chemistry, so that's why I
Okay.
took AP Chem.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Awesome. Well, what was your favorite subject out of all of those?
Um. Hmm, Honestly, probably honors and AP Chem because
Okay.
honestly have to do with it with my teacher. It's not like I sit here and live and die for chemistry, but it's just I
Sure.
really, really liked my teacher. So I'd probably say chemistry.
Okay. Okay. And I assume your grades were good or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You did very well. And did you take any tests or anything that, that like SATs or AP court AP tests and all of that?
Yeah, sorry, I never finished. I took AP Lang, AP Chem,
Mhm.
and then AP World. I got a 4 on AP World, a 4 on AP Chem. I really wish I got a 5. And then I got a 5 on AP Lang. But my AP Lang class was like the hardest class I've ever taken. Oh,
Mm.
for any sophomores, obviously it depends on your class and your
Yeah.
teacher, but AP Lang is a really hard course. So
Okay.
be ready to get ready to work if you want to. Again, it obviously all depends because but yeah, get ready to work. And then this year I'm in 6 AP classes because again,
Mhm.
I wanted to look as good as possible for college
Right.
resumes. Now, granted, 6 APs is a lot, and I wouldn't recommend taking that many. It's not it
Okay.
like yeah, but
And with the 6 AP classes, how did you manage your time in that, and how did you manage your time your junior and your senior year?
that's actually a really good question. Junior year wasn't as bad as senior year because, like, although I had pretty hard classes, I've always had pretty good time management skills. Half of it has to do with anxiety. Like, my thought process is get work done before I do anything leisurely. I play video games a lot, but I have to get my schoolwork done. I don't like to be on the game. That's what that means when I play video games.
Sure.
But while having homework to do. Anyway, junior year wasn't that bad. I also played basketball, but that's only for a certain amount like of the year. It's like October to February, obviously depending
Mhm.
on when you end and when you start, but around there.
Okay.
And but this year, the main way I'm able to like time manage and like mix everything together is I
Mhm.
always just stay on top of my work. I never let myself get behind because it's like a domino effect. If one goes or not a domino, it's like rolling down a hill. If one
Mhm.
thing goes bad, it's gonna get eventually get worse and worse and worse. So I just make sure that never happens. Never have any late work. Again, it's also have to do
Wow.
with anxiety. I don't like having late work, but yeah.
Wow. And I guess that's the message you have to a lot of the students that are trying to go for these big schools, right? Or
Yeah.
be successful is time management, getting ahead
Oh,
of things.
100%. I definitely
Mm.
recommend that or not recommend. I definitely emphasize that time management is like your greatest thing because time is always time is your biggest factor. So
Mhm.
you don't have infinite amounts of time. So
Right.
use it wisely. Don't My thought process is don't just waste your time doing nothing. Again, I'm not gonna sit here and like pretend like I've studied every day of my life
Right.
and all that. I obviously definitely have a social life, but I think it's a
Mhm.
good mixture. Like that's important. That's why I said don't recommend taking 6 APs. It obviously recommend I mean depends on what school you go to, but because like you can still do 4 to 5 APs but have like more of a social
Okay.
life. But yeah.
Now, let's talk about your activities because you said you were involved in basketball. Um, can you list out all the activities that you did from freshman to senior year, and why were you involved in them? Why, because we always talk about you want to do things that you're passionate about, the things that you love and are highly interested in, because when you do, then you'll do the hours and you'll do the leadership. So, can you explain, Omar, why you went into certain activities and what was your involvement in those activities?
Yeah, I actually have a list because I kind of forgot some of them. Obviously, basketball all 4 years. I played basketball my whole life, so I just love playing basketball, and it was just that's something that just fell in line. Another one that I did was NHS. I've been in that. I joined my sophomore year, but I probably should have joined my freshman year. Anyways, I honestly did that because I like being around a lot of like-minded individuals like myself, hard workers, people that want to do community service, and I like helping people. But that leads to my next one. Another one that I did was I founded something called the SAIL Club, which is called it stands for Student Academic Improvement League, which basically is a fancy way of saying like it was like I would help people with like a tutoring thing. So during lunch, I would tutor people if they needed help. I did that a lot my freshman, sophomore, and junior year. But then I still do it this year, but it's not as many sessions during the lunch because one of our advisors left, like one of the adults left, I mean. So
Hmm.
they transferred or not transferred, they moved or whatever. But anyways, another one of
And
the
you were a founder of that, right?
yeah,
You
my
founded
brother
that.
and I actually, my twin brother and I, for
Got
anyone
it.
curious. So, and then another one that I didn't found this one, but I joined it it's called the Best Buddies Club. It basically promotes
Hmm.
like inclusion of people who are like mentally challenged or
Hmm.
how do I put this? Like, just people are mentally challenged or not suffering, but deal with different disabilities, like
Right.
autism or other types of
Hmm.
disabilities. We try to like incorporate and we
Right.
have like a prom for them. I don't want to say them. We have a prom for us that like again promotes inclusion, promotes diversity, and just overall makes
Hmm.
them feel better. Another one that I did was this is a big one, the Ritchie Canyon. I live in something called Ritchie Canyon,
Hmm.
and there's a nursing facility around like literally like 5 minutes from me. So this is kind of a comparative advantage or competitive advantage. But
Okay.
yeah, I used to volunteer there, or not. I used to. I still volunteer, but again, not as much because of my school. But anyways, I
Sure.
volunteered because that was more in the medical field, which is what I was going to get to. I recommend doing activities that kind of align with what you want to do.
Right.
Now, if you don't know what you want to do, that's fine, but
Hmm.
like that's what I recommend for that. I do that.
So let me ask you this, a couple things, because and I know you have a list, so it's great, and we're going to go through them.
Yeah.
With
Sorry.
respect to the one that the sales, why did you, what inspired you to do that? Like, why did, there's a lot of students out there who just will say, oh, I'll just go to the clubs. But
Yeah.
what inspired you to be a founder for that type of club? Because it's definitely helping, your community, your students. So why did that inspire you?
Besides the fact that like like helping people in a medical way, I like helping people in like a way in general. And I know that
Mm,
sounds cliche, but my point is I like explaining things to people in
okay.
ways like because I understand everyone doesn't learn the same way. So that's what I
Mm,
like tried to promote in my
okay.
club was that I liked like helping like explain say the teacher didn't know how to explain it well because they're not a kid, I'm a
Right.
kid explaining it to another kid, so maybe they'll understand it in a better way if I explain it to them. And I try to be like open-minded, like okay, they don't look at things the way I do, but that's okay.
Right.
I try to just help as much as possible. So I just try to the main reason is because I like helping people and I like explaining things because it obviously helps me understand more, but
Hmm.
also builds friendship as well. But yeah.
So you basically did what we were saying is you found something that you were passionate about, that you love to do, and you turned that into an activity where you could utilize those skills that you have and to
Yeah,
give
exactly.
back because like you said, that's amazing. I mean, yeah, a lot of times students may not understand it because coming from an adult. So coming from a peer is great. And then you had mentioned about doing things that are related to what you want to do with respect to the senior citizens home, right?
Yeah.
About that experience, like what was it about those experiences? Like what did you learn from those experiences that you think you can take into your major and going forward?
One thing I definitely learned is honestly being patient. That I don't know how much that applies to college as much, but being
Mm,
patient because
does.
what the people you see in like these nursing homes,
Hmm.
it honestly like it like evokes like a sad like it makes me almost kind of sad and like I feel bad for them, but I feel bad for them in a way I want to help them, and that's what honestly like makes me want to become. We'll get to that later, but what I want to do is become a doctor because like
Hmm.
I like it. It hurts seeing these people like. I remember playing it's a vague memory now, but I remember playing, I think it was Uno. Yeah, no, not Uno. Yeah, Uno with my brother, and then this guy, I don't remember what he had. He had some type of disability, and I just
Okay.
remember him telling me like that he doesn't get to talk to people a lot. So him talking with like him, um, I don't wanna say chopping it up, you know what I mean? Like having
Yeah,
like
sure.
casual conversations with someone like really
Hmm.
helped him, and just something like that, those little thing, it just really taught me that those little things matter.
Mm,
That's what prompted me to go help, like go work. Also, it's right here, so that's also
sure.
helpful.
It's close, it's
Yeah.
convenient, so that's good. Sorry, so I did interrupted you with your list. So
Yeah.
what were the other things on your list that you did as activities?
Yeah, I'll just a little. And then there's one thing I did for this one also helpful because my mom's a doctor, but we did something
Mhm.
called the Christmas baskets for cancer kids, which
Mm,
basically it'd be me and my brother and then other people. I don't know. I think it'd maybe be other doctors' kids, but I'm not entirely sure. Just other kids that in the like in the medical field like area
mhm,
that would like craft like kits, like Christmas gifts for
mhm.
like for kids with cancer at the hospital. So that was
Okay.
something I did. Another thing I did was the Beat Cancer basketball tournament, which basically means that it was a bunch of high schools that went together, and then obviously all the fans had to pay money. It wasn't that much. I don't remember how much it was,
Mhm,
but for a ticket, but all that money would get donated to the Loma Linda University Cancer Institute, just stuff like
mhm,
that. And then one thing I did, but this is helpful. It's like a passion project. It's a kind of disgusting one, but we have donkeys that live in the canyon, and
mm,
they usually poop everywhere. And obviously, if it goes on lawns, then it's helpful because of the nutrients. But if it just goes on the street, that's just
right.
like, disgusting towards the neighborhood. So what I would do, I don't do this as much anymore because they got rid of the donkeys. I think they sent them to Texas. There's a whole thing about that. But anyways, we would clean up my brother and I would go every other Sunday and just this sounds disgusting, but genuinely go pick up the poop and put them in like a trash bag, like a big trash bag, and then just throw it away. And it would just help clean up the neighborhood because our neighborhood is kind of tight knit. Like they even have a group chat and all that. But yeah. And then the last thing, or no, sorry, there's two more. One more. This one was really helpful, but this is also because my mom's a doctor. I internshipped with, or I could say I more volunteer because I didn't get paid, but um with my mom's one of her coworkers. He's a board certified interventional radiologist. I just interned 3 to 4 times a month for 4 hours each. It'd usually be on the weekends. It'd be more in the morning, maybe 10 to 2 or 8 to 12. But I would
Mhm,
just watch minimally invasive procedures and just
mm,
learn all about the different types of things. And then the last thing I did, this one I dreaded doing this, but I'm really glad I did in hindsight, was I went to Cal Poly Slow for a week going into my junior year, so almost 2 years ago, going
mhm,
into my junior year summer, where it was more for engineering, but it was
right.
just to get the more college experience and like learn about other things to see if maybe engineering piqued my interest, even though I've always
Okay.
wanted to be a doctor. But yeah.
Mhm.
Those are my main, activities that
Awesome.
I put on the things.
And just curious, are you happy that you did all of these activities? Do you feel like they contributed to, your application, but not just your application, but just how you are and your perspectives on life and going into college?
100%. I definitely think speaking college or collegiately or whatever the word is, but
Mhm,
I definitely think that it helped because it makes me look like a well-rounded student. Because obviously
mm,
everyone has good grades. What makes you stand out is your activities, your
mhm.
extracurriculars, and then your essays. But yeah, that's another thing. And then
Excellent.
helping me become a better person, 100%. Like learning about little things. The little things matter. I mean, I've
Mhm,
always known this or I've always thought this. Like the little things really do matter. But it's
mhm,
just seeing those little like things like even with the cancer kids, I remember I put this in one of my essays that I remember this one kid came up to me and just told me about because some of them watched the game that it really made him feel like heard and like loved and special. And that again, it's just something little like that that really gets to me and really makes me just want to do more. So
mm,
yes, all of my activities, whether it's from basketball, like teaching me discipline, to internship, learning about like the hospital and being the ins and
right.
outs of it, or helping like disabled people or old people or
Okay.
elders, sorry, that just really like accentuated me as a person.
Awesome. So let's kind of get into your senior year and the colleges. So first of all, before we get in, okay, first of all, what were the schools? And then we'll go into the kind of application process. What were the schools that you applied to?
All nine U do I have to list all nine UCs?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even
Okay.
know all of them, but
Yep. All
anyways,
nine
yeah, all nine
UCs.
UCs, USC, U of Chicago, and then Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Princeton.
Harvard, Yale. Okay. Okay. So pretty low end schools then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I mean, impressive list, amazing list. So let's talk about the college application process itself.
Okay.
You started off with us when you were a junior. I remember because I when I was talking to you and your mom and your brother, and step us through the process that you went through with the application process, like when you started, what you did. Step us through and give us the ups and downs because I know that there are people on here that are listening that really want to know about that. So go ahead.
Yeah, so honestly, I wasn't even really thinking about college till junior year, and then I
Hmm.
remember when I'm gonna be completely honest, when I first
Yeah.
joined, I dreaded it so much because I know this is gonna sound counter or like opposites. Well, I'm a really hard worker, but I also can be very lazy. So I just for some reason really dreaded. I remember the college application. So if anyone listening hears that and they dread it, don't worry, you are not alone. I dreaded it so much, but you actually helped me. I remember you telling me, I think this was at the intensive, but I'm not entirely sure, about
Hmm.
how like you've worked so hard, don't let off the gas pedal now.
Yeah.
So that really did help me get me going. And some kids start over summer break, but honestly, my advice to you is just enjoy your senior year. I mean, your summer break going into your senior year. It's your
Uh-huh.
last summer break going into your final year where you're still in
Okay.
college. Like, but one thing I do recommend though is I'm not saying put it off, but one thing I do 100% recommend is right around when school starts, maybe August, early August, or middle to late August, really start your applications because
Yeah.
the goal again, if you want to shoot for some really high schools, is to
Hmm.
perfect your essays, and you got to give the coaches like time to like really
Right.
dissect your writing. So if you want to, that's why I started in August, and honestly, every weekend, but I was also really disciplined because I really wanted to
Yeah.
get perfect. Like I was like craving really good essays. Um,
Sure.
I would work on it every weekend or almost every weekend from
Hmm.
August until I submitted in maybe December. Well, I
Yeah.
obviously was more than done by November, December, but August, September, October, and a little November, just
Yeah.
grinded every weekend, just getting it done.
Now I remember you had attended our intensive. I think it was in July, actually, July or beginning of August, something like that. But um, by that time, when I was, reading your essays, they were pretty well along in a sense. Some of them, at least you had some very significant and relevant content in there. Um, you were an excellent writer, and it's funny, and this is a perspective for those who are listening to this video. For you, Omar, is that you were actually on the flip side of students. I remember commenting about this because we always dictate the whys and the whats, right? And I remember we were hammering on you, right? The whats are the obvious things, what we see, I see you're a
Yeah.
basketball player, I see, you go at medicine, but the whys are the insights from your brain, right? What your motivations are, what your feelings are, you know, um, you showing them what it is, not just telling them. And so I remember your essays were, we usually say 70-30, 70% whys, 30% whats. And you were like way beyond that. You were like 95% whys and
Yeah.
5% whats. And so we actually had to bring yours down, bring some of the details in a little bit. But that just kind of shows the kind of individual that you are, that you were very insightful. And I loved it because the results, they show. I mean, it's because you really showed who you were as a person, you know telling him these deep insights. And yeah, the essays that I read from yours at the end, I mean, I love them. They were great. They're amazing because
Thank
I
you. Thank you.
really understand the type of person, the type of student, the type of person you're going to be in college, and then the type of person you're going to be when you graduate from that institution and you're an alumni. And that's where we really want to push, in the sense of, so many people are um, so focused on their academics that they don't realize that the activities and you conveying yourself of who you are in your essays are even more important. You see what I mean? Not to say that academics aren't, because you got to get the grades,
Yeah.
you got to get the rigor, but so I'm glad we converted you over, per se, in sense of not
Yeah.
wanting to do it, and then and it's so true. Why do you work so hard for 4 years and you're running this race, and literally right before the finish line you just stop or
Yeah.
you give up? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, right? You might as well finish it off, and I'm glad that resounded in you. So, um, with respect to you mentioned about your essay process. So you were writing every weekend. And I
Yeah.
remember that because you were submitting your essays constantly, writing every weekend. One thing, what was the most difficult part of that? And the second part of it is, what was a aha moment for you when you were doing that process?
Definitely the most difficult was figuring out like how to brag about yourself because like you said,
Mm,
I was the 95%, but it's just like you never really think you said this actually at the intensive. You never
yeah,
really think like you're not used to bragging about yourself.
right.
So like thinking about how to craft like because I know how to like elegantly write when it comes to argumentative essays or this, that, and
Sure.
the other, but I'm basically arguing like why I'm a good person. And I
Yeah.
just never thought of it like that. And I don't know.
Hmm.
That was probably the most difficult part was thinking about what to write and
Okay.
more so that's why I say start early so you have a lot
Yeah.
of time. And then sorry, what was the other thing you
And what
asked?
is the aha moment? Like
Oh, that.
the
Yeah.
aha moment that you had that about this with this process?
Definitely when you told me about the 70/30 thing because because it made sense because I'm
Hmm.
honestly I kind of function where like sometimes I need to be told what to do and then I can just,
Right.
you know, knock it out. But that 70/30 was my aha basically. And I know that sounds
Hmm.
like that might be not the best answer, but it really did help me like
No.
right. Like it's just like, 30 you don't want to spend too much time writing what. That's how I functioned in AP Lang is I would just learn and learn. That's how I learned writing good college essays.
Right. 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 And that's excellent. And so, okay, so you wrote all these essays. You worked hard. I remember you were submitting them all. You have nine UCs, USC, U of Chicago, Harvard, Yale, Stanford. I mean, I'll just list them out, right? Um, I'll ask, first of all, what is your number one school?
I've actually got this question a few times. I really do not have like a if I got accepted here, I'd go. Obviously, I would want to say, Harvard. If anyone gets accepted, they'd want to go. But I don't have like if I got accepted right now, I would commit. I don't care about the other schools.
Okay.
But if I had to pick, maybe UCLA or USC because they're close to
Okay.
home.
Okay. And let's kind of, I mean, the reveal is already there. So, which schools have you heard from so far?
So far, I've only heard from USC. I've heard from UCR, UC Santa Cruz, and obviously Merced. And then I heard from U Chicago because I did USC early and U Chicago early. And then the
Right.
rest have obviously haven't come out yet. But I got into UCR with a scholarship, with like a 5K a year scholarship. I
Congratulations.
got,
Yeah.
thank you. I got into USC early action as well. I
Amazing.
unfortunately got deferred from U Chicago, but U Chicago wasn't my like number one. So I wasn't that bummed.
But
Um,
remember, deferred doesn't mean that you are, it
Rejected,
does
yeah.
not mean that you are rejected. It just means that they're still considering you. So that still can happen, right? Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
And then the other schools?
And then I got into Merced, but they if you're 9% of your class, because I'm
Hmm.
actually number one, that I'm not bragging, but yeah,
No, that's
they
good.
they get you
It's
automatically
an,
get in. And
uh-huh.
then Santa Cruz also came out. I got in there as well, but none of the
Con-
other ones have come out yet.
Congrats. Yeah, none of them have caught. So, first of all, congratulations on USC.
Thank
It
you.
is a very difficult school to get into, especially. And what was the major that you went for at USC?
I think it was human biology. Yeah,
Okay, human
human biology.
biology. Any STEM related coursework or major going into USC is very difficult. You have so many students that are going for it. So congratulations on that,
Thank you.
because it's an amazing school. Not to say that the other schools are not amazing, because all the schools that you listed are incredible. And so, congratulations on that.
Thank
You
you.
are
Thank
you
you.
are still 100% because you
Yeah,
haven't
exactly.
rejected anyone, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Um, So let's kind of talk about now that we know, you know, um, curious about why USC. Just if you can kind of give me a small what about USC that you liked?
One, I like that it's close to home. Two, I just like that like everyone knows about USC. Like I kind
Yeah.
of like that big name. It's a good mixture of academics and
Okay.
sports, and yeah, that's the main reason I picked one of the reasons I applied to USC.
Okay. So I'm going to be a little selfish here. I'm going to ask you a question because you've worked with us for a while now. And so I want to ask your thoughts about our program specifically, the egelloC program and our team. What do you feel was the most beneficial part of the program for you personally? Um, and of course, if you want to, talk about any people that we work with, so that's fine too. So what do you think about our program?
I definitely recommend it, and that I know that sounds like a like I'm getting paid to say that, but I genuinely I felt like I had an army behind me as I was doing my
Mm,
college applications. That's the best way I can describe it, and the
mhm,
best thing honestly is the experience. I felt like I had seasoned vets training me as I was writing it,
mm,
and it's honestly an advantage, and I'm grateful I was able to get that advantage, but
right.
I genuinely appreciate it. You actually graded my personal not graded, like, helped me on my personal statement, which,
Yes.
again, it's and you've seen so many, you already know what these
Yeah.
colleges want, and that is, like, experience, you can't buy that, like, that you just need that experience, and that's
Mm.
what this program comes with. Also, it comes with very good attitudes. Coach Christian's actually she's so sweet. She's another reason, or not her specifically, but,
Yeah.
like, that is a like, the
Sure.
the good what is it called? The good, like, excitement, the good emotions that come from the
Sure.
program as well. That's very helpful. And then also, I really forgot his name, but he went to Yale. He's a
Oh,
Yale.
yeah, Coach John.
Is it Coach John? Yeah,
Yeah.
he went to Yale, and I remember him grading one of my things. And it's just like having like obviously experience in general, knowing about college, but then
Mhm.
I'm applying to Yale, and I have someone who knows exactly what Yale wants. Like, again, it's that I can't stress that enough. That experience
Yeah.
is unparalleled. Like, it's so
Right.
helpful.
Right. Yeah, I'm so excited. And thank you for those kind words. Our team is just that's what we love to do, and why not give that experience out to our students and we don't hold back.
Oh, wait, sorry. One more thing. And you guys, speaking of your team, you
Yeah.
guys are super on it. Like, I've never submitted it and waited 3 weeks to get it back. Like, you guys are super on it, grading it over and over. Like, as much as I work tirelessly, you guys matched it and worked tirelessly, and it just builds like a phenomenal thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just forgot to add
No,
that.
no, that's great. I mean, I'm just gonna mention that is that when it's go time, it's funny you say that because the in the background, a lot of students don't realize that there's so many essays that are coming at us. And
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
but with that said, we understand for you guys as well, is that you're waiting there for the comments because you want to get it done. And so we understand that. And so to hear that you benefited from that, benefit from the experience, and more so, I really hope that for me at least as a coach, that not only did you go through the process, but you learned something about yourself. You grew through this process because what you mentioned is it's hard to talk about yourself simply sometimes because you don't know who you are. You
Yeah.
don't know all the great things that you've done. You don't know all of the amazing things that make you up who you are. And a lot of times you don't see that until someone like a coach or so brings that out of you and says, "Well, wait, you've organized all those things. That's amazing." And you're like, "Well, that's what I just do." And you're like, "No,
Yeah.
you
You
need to
never
highlight that."
exactly. Yeah, yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
You live through it. It's like seeing someone every day and you don't realize how much they change.
Sure.
It's because you're seeing them every single day. It's that same thing. I'm obviously myself all the time, so I'm not really like, oh, I did that.
Correct.
It's just second nature to me. Basketball, I never really thought of it. Like, I just grew up with basketball. I never thought like that's a really good extracurricular. Now, granted, it's a lot of people do it, but still.
No, but it's not just the extracurricular, it's the leadership piece. It's having the discipline to always keep yourself fit to and also to be a teammate, right? I mean, there's so many transferable skills that you get from all of the activities that you do. And so these are just the things that we love to highlight, but are important. And it's exactly what the schools are looking for too. So we really appreciate that you got so much out of our program because it's one of those things where we take it very, very personally in a sense of, the pride that we see when students like yourself make it into the schools because that's what your dream was. And we're so glad that we helped you out. So, okay, so let's kind of wrap these things up a little bit and ask you. So, what's one piece of advice that you would give? You could give it for each year or overall, but what's one piece of advice that you would give to the students and the parents about the college admissions process and possibly using a program like ours? So what's one piece of advice?
One piece of advice to the parents is it's worth it. I understand it's a hefty price, but it's worth it. And then one
Mm,
thing to the kids is trust the process, trust what the coaches are telling you, because although sometimes everyone can be hard at times. I was a little hard at times, but it's helpful. At the end of the day, that trust me, it will all be worth it. And USC isn't Harvard, but USC is still good. And opening it up and seeing that congratulations just sends a fire straight up through your body. It's just the excitement you get really, really is worth it. So
okay.
I advise you to just keep going because it will be worth it if you put your effort in.
Awesome. Amazing. That's amazing advice. So with that, I we have, people on the line here and what I was going to ask for those who are online is to ask any questions. So if you're okay with that, would it be okay
Yeah,
if we ask
100%.
any
Yeah.
questions? Okay, cool. So I have one question here. It says here, did you interview for the merit scholarship for USC or any scholarships for USC?
No, unfortunately, yeah, you have to get in early to get merit scholarship. I unfortunately didn't get I didn't advance the later rounds where you do
Mm,
get an interview because you have to advance to later rounds just to get considered.
right.
So no, unfortunately, I did not get any. But national merit finalists haven't come out yet, so I don't know. Hopefully, I get that because that's
Mm.
if you get that and select USC as your top choice. It used to be half tuition, but now it's only like 20,000. But I'm not only, but like comparatively.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it's pretty significant. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
that's
it's it's
helpful
it's
at the end of the
significant
day
and it
considering
helps.
USC's price, so
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent. Great, great, great. I will encourage, let me see, that was one question. Let me look at another one here. Let's see here. Okay. So we have some people, and I will encourage those that are on the line. If you have any questions, please let us know. Another question that I see here is, let's see. I guess, well, I guess this is the same question we had before, is but what was the hardest part of the process?
The hardest part of the process was probably honestly, I won't answer the same question I did last time or
Yeah,
answer the same answer because I did say like bragging about yourself. But the
right.
other thing is really refining your ideas because
Mm.
you could see even now sometimes I just go off on a tangent and just keep talking, and
Mhm,
that's the thing you about college or essays is that you
mhm.
don't you can't just go off on a tangent and you can't just write as much as you want. It's not a 70-page essay. It's
Right.
650 words and you don't even realize how little that is until you get to writing. So you really have to learn how to condense what you got to say while also
Mhm.
keeping the same significance because that really does matter. Because don't worry about if you're really adamant, don't worry about oh, hitting the 350, oh, I don't know if I can get to that. Trust me, you can. The only thing you have to worry about is not
Mhm.
going over that. But that's what you guys are here for, and that's why I'm trying to tell
Right,
you. It's so
right.
helpful.
Another question was, did you submit your SAT scores for USC and the other schools?
No, I did not. Okay,
Mm,
this leads on to what I was saying about the going since freshman year, I wasn't thinking about college like that,
yeah,
which would have been beneficial if I joined earlier, but I didn't submit. I think I got like a when I you have to take it at my school. I think
right.
I got like a 1240 or something, not good at all. But again, I didn't study for it at all. I didn't even take it serious. So
Mhm.
to be honest with you, so I didn't submit that because that doesn't reflect who I was. And I
Right.
also Granted, I could have studied like and retook it again, but honestly, I just didn't want to. To be quite honest, I really
Yeah.
just didn't want to. So no, I went test optional for every school I applied to. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's again a great point in, and we say this to our students as well, because so many people get so locked in with respect to the scores, right? And it's test optional for a reason. And
Yeah,
it's a
exactly.
testament to you. I mean, you made it to USC without having a test score.
Yeah.
And but it's a minor it's not insignificant, but it's a minor piece of the evaluation process. And you were so strong in your academics, in your activities, and your essays that they didn't need to have a score. You see what I mean? And so that's so a testament to you and a testament to,
Thank
again,
you.
work on the three areas, right? Is
Yeah.
academics, activities, and the application, and you'll have a really great chance. Okay, here's another one, and we'll kind of wrap this up soon. For someone who's aspiring to be a doctor, there you are. Have you and your parents given thought to saving money for undergrad and not caring about the brand name of USC, and instead saving for the long path of medical school? So that's a long question there.
That's
But
actually a great question because
okay.
yes, that's 100% what I've been thinking about. Because USC would be good if I wasn't considering, or not considering, almost guaranteed gonna try to go to med school, which is gonna cost more. So yes,
Mhm.
I have heard that. I have definitely thought about that before. And that's honestly kind of half of the reason I'm hoping I get into UCLA as well, is because I know it's gonna be cheaper and I
Okay.
can have a good undergrad name while still saving money for college. I mean, for graduate school. So yes,
Got
I
it. Got it.
100% thought about that.
Yeah.
And
And it doesn't stop you from applying for scholarships, and that's, your next bastion of things, I guess, that we have to work on is just, it's because this is the time to do it, is to
yeah,
apply for scholarships, and frankly continually still keep on applying for scholarships even when you go with in the school that you're in, right? They normally have a lot more opportunities as well within the school itself, because there's always people giving money, especially for the larger schools that you're going for.
yeah,
There's always donors, and so, and they want to see individuals like yourself that are highly driven, and that can, and let's just be honest here, that will be a great alumni, and be a good reflection of that school when you graduate. Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Omar, first of all, congratulations. As your coach, I'm proud of you. You
Thank
know
you.
all the things that you did, and I'm so glad to hear that you had mentioned in first that you didn't want to necessarily go through it, but then you found definite value, because that's what we wanted to do, is to make sure that you can make it to your dream school. And at least you made it to one of them so far. Well,
Yeah, I
you made it
know.
to a number of them. That's not, but
Yeah,
you made it to your one of your top ones. And I'm looking forward to seeing, because they'll be coming out soon. Looking
I
forward to
know.
seeing the results for the other schools. But congratulations, and all your hard work that you put in is been worth it, because it's resulted in some great schools, and I'm sure other great schools will come along as well. I wish you much luck and success in your endeavors, and we're just so happy that we're involved in this small little piece of your life that can make you successful. So thank you for coming on. We greatly appreciate you sharing your story. And we look forward to seeing some great things, from you in the future.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being that catapult that we needed, or that I
Oh,
needed for sure. So
no problem. We're in it. It is our pleasure. And thank you so much. And thank you to your mom, and to choosing egelloC for us to be able to just help you on this journey. So it was great talking with you. Have an amazing rest of your senior year.
thank you.
And enjoy, like you said, enjoy the time. And we'll talk to you soon about going forward, and see how you're doing in the later stages. Okay.
Thank you. And you have a phenomenal night as well.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Okay. Thanks, Omar. Take it easy.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Bye bye.